Excessive and unnecessary show-offs represent the desperation and urge of people for attention and the desire of people to have a certain impression of themselves among others. When people repeat an idea so many times in their minds for a long time, for example, an impression of themselves, they will start believing in the idea even if it's incorrect or their self-created myth. Excessive show-offs are the misrepresentation of one's personality, believing that they have become the character they have created in their minds. Excessive and unnecessary show-offs are often emblematic of the profound human need for attention and the desire to cultivate a specific impression among peers and society at large. It's a behavior rooted in the innate yearning for recognition, admiration, and validation from others. This quest for attention often compels individuals to flaunt and exaggerate their achievements, embellish their experiences, and portray themselves as larger-than-life figures. Exaggeration, in this context, becomes a tool for crafting an image that may not necessarily align with reality. People who engage in excessive show-offs often go to great lengths to present themselves as extraordinarily accomplished or exceptionally successful. They believe that by showcasing their accomplishments or attributes in a grandiose manner, they can garner the admiration and envy of those around them. This behavior, however, is not merely about seeking external validation. It often runs much deeper. At its core, it reflects a need to maintain a particular self-image, one that is admired or envied by others. The repeated display of these exaggerated traits or achievements becomes a means of reinforcing this self-image, both in the eyes of others and, more crucially, in one's own self-perception. Over time, the line between reality and fiction can blur. Individuals who engage in excessive show-offs may find themselves really believing in the persona they've constructed, even if it deviates significantly from who they truly are. A persona refers to the social mask, identity, or character that an individual portrays to the outside world. This self-created myth or character becomes an integral part of their identity, often to the detriment of authenticity. The phenomenon of repeatedly telling oneself an idea or narrative, even if it's incorrect or a self-created myth, is a fascinating aspect of human psychology. It's a form of self-deception where the individual becomes the storyteller and the audience simultaneously in their imagination. This process can be driven by various factors, including the desire to cope with past trauma, protect one's self-esteem, or conform to societal expectations. The narrative construction often involves developing stories or scripts about the idealized self. These narratives may portray the individual as exceptionally talented, resilient, or unique in some way. Through self-talk and repetition, individuals reinforce this narrative in their minds, gradually coming to accept it as reality. In doing so, they may downplay their flaws, ignore contradictory evidence, and cling to the self-created myth. Over time, this self-deception can have far-reaching consequences. It can hinder personal growth and self-awareness, as individuals resist acknowledging their shortcomings or areas where they fall short of the idealized character they've created. The more they repeat the narrative, the more deeply ingrained it becomes, until it becomes a core part of their identity. Here's the list of important words from the provided paragraphs, along with simplified meanings and one-sentence examples for each. 1. Extravagant, going beyond what is necessary or normal. Example, his extravagant spending habits led to financial trouble. 2. Desperation, a state of despair, often due to a sense of hopelessness. Example, in her desperation to find a solution, she sought help from everyone. 3. Urge, a strong desire or impulse to do something. Example, he felt the urge to travel and explore new cultures. 4. Emblematic, serving as a symbol or representation. Example, the white dove is emblematic of peace and freedom. 5. Profound, having deep meaning or significance. Example, her speech had a profound impact on the audience. 6. Innate, existing from birth or as a natural part. Example, his innate talent for art was evident from a young age. 7. Recognition, acknowledgement or identification of something or someone. Example, her hard work finally earned her the recognition she deserved. 8. Admiration, a feeling of respect and approval for someone. Example, his dedication to the cause won the admiration of many. 9. Validation, the act of confirming or verifying something. Example, his success in the competition provided validation of his skills. 10. Compels, forces or drives someone to do something. Example, the urgent situation compelled him to act immediately. 11. Flaunt, display something with pride or show it off. Example, she liked to flaunt her expensive jewelry at social gatherings. 12. Exaggerate, to overstate or represent something as greater than it is. Example, he tended to exaggerate his accomplishments to impress others. 13. Grandiose, impressive and imposing, often to an excessive degree. Example, the grandiose building left visitors in awe. 14. Misrepresentation, the act of presenting something inaccurately. Example, the documentary accused the company of misrepresentation. 15. Persona, the character or role a person portrays in public. Example, his online persona differed from his real-life personality. 16. Integral, necessary and essential, forming a complete whole. Example, teamwork is integral to the success of this project. 17. Phenomenon, a remarkable or exceptional occurrence. Example, the sudden change in weather was a natural phenomenon. 18. Self-deception, deluding or misleading oneself, often about one's abilities. Example, his self-deception about his athletic skills led to failure. 19. Intricate, very detailed, complex, or elaborate. Example, the intricate design of the artwork fascinated everyone. 20. Interplay, the interaction or dynamic relationship between elements. Example, the interplay of light and shadow created a dramatic effect. 21. Navigate, to find one's way through a challenging situation. Example, she had to navigate the complex route through the forest. 22. Quest, a search or pursuit, often of something significant. Example, his quest for knowledge led to new discoveries. 23. Self-awareness, the ability to recognize and understand one's own thoughts and feelings. Example, developing self-awareness is crucial for personal growth. 24. Intricate, very detailed, complex, or elaborate. Example, the intricate details of the design were impressive. 25. Manifestations, observable signs or expressions of something. Example, his frustration had physical and verbal manifestations. 26. Great lengths, a considerable and extensive effort or distance taken to achieve something. Example, she went to great lengths to research and prepare for her important presentation. 27. Merely, simply or just, without any significant or additional factors. Example, it's not merely a book, it's a timeless piece of literature. 28. Deviates, to go off the expected path or do something different from what was planned or usual. Example, his behavior deviates from the rules and norms of the organization. 29. Narratives, stories or accounts of events, experiences, or events. Example, the narratives in this novel offer a unique perspective on the characters' lives. 30. Cling, to hold on tightly or attach oneself strongly to something. Example, the child would often cling to his mother when he felt scared. 31. Fall short, to not meet the expected or desired standard or goal. Example, despite his effort, he still fell short of winning the competition. 32. Embellish, to add extra details or decorations to make something more attractive or interesting. Example, she liked to embellish her stories to make them more captivating. 33. Garner, to gather or collect something, often in a gradual or systematic manner. Example, the team worked hard to garner support from the community for their project. 34. Traits, characteristics or qualities that define a person or thing. Example, honesty and kindness are admirable traits in a friend. 35. Fiction, imaginary stories or literature created from the author's imagination. Example, the novel is a work of fiction, featuring a fictional world and characters.